My final unit plan is over my 3rd grade persuasive writing unit. This plan consists of 8 weeks of 20-minute daily lessons. For my unit design, I chose the Assure instructional design model. The Assure model follows 6 steps. Analyze the learner, state your state standards and objectives, select strategies, technology, media, and materials to use, utilize technology, media, and materials, require student participation, and evaluate and revise. The first step of the Assure model is to analyze your learners. In order to create the best lessons for my students, meet them on their level of learning, and make each lesson engaging, I must first know exactly where my students are in each unit before it begins. In this unit, my students will complete a pre-assessment over persuasive writing to see how well they can persuade a reader to think the way they do. After students have completed the pre-assessment, they will participate in a discussion on persuasive writing. These activities will provide me with the information I must know about my students' knowledge in order to create the most effective lessons for my students and create effective small groupings in order for them to get the help or the push they need to succeed at their individual level. Once students have been analyzed, the next step is to state the standards and objectives. My persuasive writing unit will focus on the 3rd grade Common Core writing standards for writing opinion and persuasive pieces. Knowing the standards and objectives is important for students to know at the beginning of each lesson and unit in order for them to set goals to reach throughout the instruction. Students need a path or a roadmap to follow in order to know where they need to be at the end of each unit. Giving students daily or weekly objectives that must be met will guide their learning and ensure that students know what is expected of them and what they will be assessed upon at the end of the unit. The third step in the Assure model is to select strategies, technology, media, and materials to be used within the lesson. Choosing effective strategies and materials will allow you to create the most effective lessons and get the most engagement from your students. Within my unit, I plan to use the following strategies, technology, media, and materials: cooperative learning groups, teacher-guided small groups, flipped learning, Google Docs, mind map, graphic organizers, Storyworks magazine, kid blog discussions, and Shadow Puppet. These materials may change based on the instructional level of my students and the background knowledge they have before starting the unit. Once you have chosen the technology, media, and materials to use within your unit, the next step is to implement it effectively. Choosing the correct technology is important, but the implementation of the technology and materials is what will keep students motivated and engaged within the lessons. Educators must be aware that the technology and materials can change depending on the group of students you have. If a piece of technology or materials that you have chosen is not working for your students or is not as effective as you first thought, change it. Do not stick with a piece of technology that is ineffective in your teaching. The 5th step of the Assure model is requiring learner participation. In this step, students are required to actively participate in the lessons. Through my unit, I am using student discussions, blog posts, and small groups in order to get all students participating in all lessons. This participation will allow every student to have a voice and opinion while also allowing me to see their strengths and weaknesses. I can base future small groups on what I am seeing daily within the classroom through student participation. Through blogs and comments, I can provide students with effective feedback as needed. The important part of this step is to provide multiple ways for all students to have a voice within the unit, and I believe that I have effectively done that. The last step within the Assure model is evaluation and revision. In this step, the teacher not only evaluates the student performance for the mastery of concepts, but also revises any necessary parts of the unit in order to make it more effective for future students. This would also be the time that teachers would reteach concepts to students who did not master the standards the first time. This type of evaluation and revision not only allows for the teacher to create the best lessons possible for students and ensures that future students receive the most effective instruction, but also provides the teacher with a personal look at their own effectiveness as an instructor. I feel that I effectively incorporated this instructional model into my persuasive writing unit. The Assure instructional design model helped me to create an effective unit plan and gives me additional insight into how I can change my instruction in order to become a better educator. This is a model that I will use for additional unit plans and take back to my colleagues.